Hello, this is Martha Alter Hines with Living the One Light. And today I am feeling a big nudge from the spirit world to speak to some of the energies that I'm feeling in my praying right now. I'm making this video on September 30th, 2022, and I'm feeling a really strong set of messages regarding the current time, and the spirit world is wanting me especially to speak to just the energetics of October of 2022 and maybe a little beyond that, but really focused on this one set of messages that they're really wanting to convey through me, um, regarding the nature of what it is to be beings of light and the need to be really grounded as we come into that remembering of ourselves as beings of light. So to start, I'll say, yeah, so the spirit world is wanting me to share these messages right now in this short video, and also to point out the ways in which this theme and this message is very infused in all of the workshops and the offerings that I'm holding this month of October 2022. So I'll describe those a little more too. But everything that I do, everything I bring forward, all the workshops I hold are 100,000% directed by the spirit world. There's a very clear agenda that they have, and very clear, they tell me do this type of gathering on once a month, this other type of gathering once a month, hold this one in the beginning of the month, this one in the middle. There's very clear reasoning behind it that I don't always understand, and then often after the fact I go, oh, got it. Okay, I get how this one builds on this one and so forth. So the theme that all of this is gelling around right now in my prayers and in all of these offerings that they're wanting me to hold space for in this coming month is really about what I feel is quite related to the Saturn Uranus square, which is becoming almost exact as we speak. Today's, again, September 30th, 2022, and they're going to be Uranus and Saturn will both be in the degree of the 18 degree of their sign of Saturn being in Aquarius and Uranus being in Taurus for the next couple of weeks. So they're not going to become exactly square each other again. They were exactly square each other 3 times last year, but now they're going to be, very, 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 very close, almost exactly square each other. And I've been feeling this energy quite strongly building for a few weeks, but now it's right here. It's coming even closer in the next few days. So in addition, astrologically, we have Mercury opposite Neptune. So right now, as I'm making this recording, Mercury is at 24 degrees Virgo going retrograde. It's going to be going retrograde until Sunday, October 2nd. And Neptune is at 23 degrees of Pisces, also going retrograde. And then when Mercury goes direct, it will then oppose Jupiter. And so we have a lot of, in all these various ways, a lot of energy reminding us to essentially the need to free up our mind, the need to free up our sense of structures, to come back into ourselves as beings of the divine, and then also our own intelligence as the divine, which are similar but slightly subtly different. And so what the spirit world is really wanting me to convey and focus on is that and I'm speaking for myself here, when we think of ourselves as beings of light, again, I'm speaking for myself, but I think this is true for a lot of us. We often think of light as being different from earth. And so my entire business name is called Living the One Light. Again, that was channeled, that was told to me, that's what it's meant to be. Wasn't exactly my choice, but that is what it is. It's called Living the One Light. So clearly my work and my calling is very much about us being light beings. And yet at the same time, a huge component of what I feel in this Uranus being in Taurus is the reminder that yes, we are beings of light. So is the earth. The earth is a being of light. And the spirit world is just saying over and over and over again to me, yes, you are beings of light. Everything is beings of light. And therefore, so is the earth. So what they show me is this image of the earth, again, as a being of light with the heart of, Mother Gaia Earth, pulsating with this light. The heart of the earth is a pulsing heartbeat of light. And then we have a heartbeat of light that's also, open and free, ideally, and pulsing with our own rhythm. And then source also is, of course, light and has a parallel pulsing heartbeat. So when we incarnate on this planet, Earth, our Earth body is made out of earth, literally, and our cells are of the earth. And our light body is not different from the earth. It is also light, just as the earth body is light, and just as source is light. So the vision that they give me repeatedly over and over and over again is the earth as this being of light, pulsing with that light, and then us on the earth, also pulsing as light, surrounded by the light of the divine, the light of source. And what they need, what they want us to do, what they want us to remember, again, if this feels right for you, this wouldn't necessarily apply to everybody because everybody's different in each moment, but I think this is true for a lot of us, is that the real need is not for us to fly off into outer space, which I'm speaking for myself. There is a time and a place for everything. In my prayers, I do fly off into outer space and become the light. That is a part of my process, and probably a part of a lot of our processes. But really, the ultimate reality and need is for us to be these beings of light in contact with, in full relationship with, on an energetic level, with the light of us, in full complete oneness with the light of the body of the earth, and in complete oneness with the light of all of the divine and all of source. So it's all one being. So when we're here on the earth, it's not that we are a block, like a three-dimensional hard rock or something sitting on a hard rock of earth. Of course, we know this, but it's not. And then separately, there's our light being, which is something else. That I'm making that exaggerated, and I know that we know that that's not true, but there is literally no separation between us as beings of light and us as beings of this planet Earth. And again, speaking for myself, it's taken me a few layers. I'm still even getting it more and more deeply, how this light body beingness of the earth is one and needs to be one with the light being and the body of our earth beings, that is us. Yeah. And then it's when we come into that remembering of the light body of the earth and the light body that is us, and then the light being of source. And we remember that's all encapsulated as one. That's when suddenly we can come back fully online. We can become fully able to move with and co-create with that light of the earth and the light of source and the light of our own hearts, all as one being moving together. So that's really the ultimate goal right now, I feel, of the spirit world, the message that the spirit world is really sending through me very, very, very strongly, repeatedly right now. And I feel that, and when I look at the astrology of this moment with Uranus squaring Saturn, is, you know, trying to infuse the intelligence of the divine, Uranus, into our concept of the earth and our bodies, Taurus. And then with our sense of what structures are needed, that gentle yin set of structures, Saturn. And then it's also very mirrored in this opposition of Mercury in Virgo, Earth, opposite Neptune in Pisces, the divine. So, and no, there's so much more there. Even in this upcoming full moon on October 9th in Aries, it's going to be, the full moon will be conjunct Eris Xena. I'm speaking specifically of Eris Xena. That's what Heather Ensworth calls her. And I really resonate with that. And I highly recommend the video that Heather Ensworth just put out about the full moon recently. But in that video, she mentions her sense of Eris Xena conjunct this full moon as being, you know, very much about us, an energy that's opening us up to new ways and speaking new ways that maybe others haven't spoken. And the Eris Xena energy is extremely strong in my chart. She's exactly to the degree opposite my Pluto. So for anybody in evolutionary astrology, Eris Xena literally is where my Pluto polarity point is. And anyway, that's a whole other topic. But yeah, so even this full moon, I feel bringing in, and I'll have to feel into it even more deeply to get my own sense of it, but conjunct Chiron and the Eris Xena is, you know, a really healing potential around us manifesting that intelligence of the divine and being who we are and being what it is that we are meant to do and be here. Yeah, and I feel so much more in that, again, that I'm going to need to feel into and speak to more later in the month. But yeah, so again, as I'm even just closing my eyes and feeling into what is wanting to be spoken right now, is the spirit world is just again saying, just surrounding me with light, and they're saying, okay, come back to this notion of light. So in this month of October, I am going to be offering several gatherings. So every month I am holding a deep peace and healing session on a Friday morning in the beginning of the month. So this month it's going to be next Friday, a week from today, October 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, from 10 to 11:30. And that will be a session where the spirit world essentially takes over and I channel a 90-minute healing session for you, and you just lay back, relax, and let go, and let your nervous system completely relax fully, go into your parasympathetic nervous system and get whatever it is that you're needing. we had the first Deep Peace and Healing session last month, which is now available indefinitely online. And I'll put the link here. And what the spirit world did in that session is very relevant to what I'm talking about today, which is they channeled a healing session where we re-became the body of the earth herself. It was not what I was expecting, and incredibly beautiful and healing. And it really was a reminder for me of the ways in which in our lives on earth as humans, we often feel a sense of separation from the earth. And it was a visceral reminder to me that that separation is literally untrue. It's just, I mean, we know this logically, it's just not true. We are not separate. So this healing session last month, again, was on a cellular level, a reminder of our 100,000% infinite unity and oneness and wholeness with the earth herself. So I don't know yet what will be coming through in the Deep Peace and Healing session next Friday, but that's what came through last month, and I'm sure it will be related to something important. That's all I know for sure. So you're very welcome to join that. I would love to have you there. You can also join virtually. I mean, you can have the recording. You can come live, or you can have the recording indefinitely, just like the one I did last month, which is now available for anybody to purchase anytime. Then on the following Wednesday, October 12th, I'm holding a really beautiful special workshop with my friend Barbara Juniper, who is a sound healer, and she is also a spiritual mentor. And we're holding a joint workshop called Untying the Knots That Bind Us, Letting Go into Our Boundless Nature. So this workshop is also very related to the set of messages, and in about, coming back into the light being that we are, and releasing the stories that hold us back maybe from just being this light being that is us. So I spoke to this notion of releasing the stories a great deal in my last soul wisdom gathering in September, and that's also available for anybody indefinitely. But in this upcoming workshop with Barbara, she's going to be using sound healing as a tool for, in addition to me channeling, she will also be, using sound and her own voice to, again, on a cellular level, help our bodies and our beings to release any and all karmic energetics in our body systems, anything, not of the light that is ready to go. And Barbara and I made a video together a few days ago, which is also on my YouTube channel, introducing that workshop. So I definitely encourage you to watch that. It was a really, really beautiful, sweet conversation. And Barbara gave us a little taste of the sound healing, which I loved and I didn't want to stop. So I'm really looking forward to more of that on October 12th. Then on October 22nd, Saturday, October 22nd, I'm going to be holding the next Soul Wisdom community gathering, which I hold once a month, and it's free for all members of my monthly membership, but you could also come just one time. So the theme that the spirit world is wanting me to focus on for that gathering is seeing and being through the eyes of the light. And again, this is clearly very related to the set of messages of what it really means to be beings of light. So when we re-become in that place of oneness of ourselves as beings of light, and then the earth as this being of light, and then source itself as obviously the entire all-encompassing divine light, we then can go into a state of knowing and seeing and being as this light. So this is a big part of how I have lived my life over the past 10 years. Actually, yeah, exactly 10 years since this started happening for me. And I wrote an article about this, which maybe some of you have seen. And I speak to it a lot in the new book that I just written, which I'll say a little bit more about in a second. But yeah, so this notion of, it's not just that we re-become energetically the light, it's that then we also, when we are in that frequency and in that state of being where we are the light, that can radically shift our perception even of life. And when I'm in my prayer state, again, everybody's different. Everybody's ways of perceiving things is going to be, unique to you. But I'm feeling called to say this, is that I get shown a lot energetically in my prayers, and I get shown the energetics of the future. I get shown the energetics of what I'm needing to do in that moment in the day. I get shown the sort of truth or the energetics of, on a highest level of maybe relationships or dynamics between me and other people, or even just in general in the world. It all depends on what the spirit world is feeling like is, right for me to be shown in that moment. But there's this huge piece of reality, which I haven't even really fully acknowledged until right this second, which is, and the spirit world is saying, yep, this is important. Okay, I'm getting it. As we move forward, as we are, many of us, coming back into this full awareness of ourselves as beings of the cosmos, the earth, the light, source, etc., our hearts, our minds, all of it. One of the major shifts that is already happening for many of us, and has been happening, like for me, for about 10 years or more, but it's going to be happening more and more and more, I think, for many people, is that when you really energetically re-become yourself as light, you have the ability to switch on what it is to be the light, actually, like really be the light. Therefore, you can see as the light, you can hear as the light, you suddenly can get knowing as a being of light, literally. So that can have a lot of different, there can be a lot of feelings that come with that, and it can feel scary, it can feel exciting, it can feel amazing, it can feel confusing, all these different things, right? And with Mercury opposite Neptune right now, also, I mean, that's a relatively fast transit, but even in that moment of that transit, that can bring a sense of confusion, it can bring a sense of elation, it can bring a sense of epiphanies, it can, it can bring a sense of being just really muddled. So it can be all over the place, but there can be this sense of opening up to literally perceiving as a being of the all that is, which is what I think many of us are meant to be doing now and moving into the future. And really important key here, so important, super, super key to stay grounded as we do that, to remember that again, as beings of light, we're not flying off into the nothingness, which again, sometimes I do, and sometimes that's important, but we have to be super grounded as we do that, remember that the earth is a being of light, just as we are beings of light. So we're becoming beings of light in tandem with our bodies as earth. It's not an either or, it's a both. It's a both and all at the same time. There's no separation, there's no duality here. It's all one thing. Yeah. So that Soul Wisdom Community Gathering on Saturday, October 22nd, is going to be, again, a channeled experience where the spirit world helps us to become ourselves as beings of light, and then literally see and hear and feel and know whatever it is there for us to see and hear and feel and know in that moment and in any moment moving forward. So that gathering, again, you can come live or you can have the recording indefinitely, and that one is free for all of members of my monthly membership, and also available for you to join just one at a time. Okay. And then the last thing I'm doing in October is another workshop with another good friend, Michelle Dench, and we're going to be holding a workshop on Wednesday, October 26th, called Freeing the Dark Goddesses. And so that's going to be focusing, of course, on some of the goddess archetypes, and in particular, the notion that these dark goddess images and archetypes have been tried to be controlled over many centuries, and now we are realizing that it is extremely key for us to free ourselves from those constrictions and to come back into these energies in a really powerful, deep, healing way, such as, for example, Eris Xena. And we'll be, focusing on a few of those, some that maybe we wouldn't necessarily think of as dark goddesses, but we'll be talking about those. And the ones that I think we'll be focusing on are Eris Xena, Ceres, Juno, and there's a fourth one and I'm forgetting it right this second, but I'll put the link for all of that information with this video. So then another thing, two more things I'm going to share, and then I'll be done with this. The other thing I am going to be holding this month is going to be a free gathering for anybody who wants to read or who already has read my new book, which I will send you for free because it's still in a draft form. The book is called Consciousness in Bloom, and it is a very short book. It's about 55 pages. I'm going to be adding actually a little section to it over the next few days. But it is a combination of sort of my own life story, but really in me telling my life story isn't really the point. It's in service of outlining a paradigm that the spirit world, again, is, really adamant needs to be outlined through me, of why it is so crucial that we do remember ourselves as beings of our full consciousness, ourselves as beings of the earth, of our minds, of our hearts, of the divine, of the cosmos, of the all that is, of infinity. And so I outline in that book, various components of why that's so important and how we can do it. Like I do the theory, I give an outline of a lot of neuroscience from my therapeutic days, my therapy days as a clinical social worker. And I talk about the fact that we are in a collective state of trauma, which our world is, and then the importance of finding ways to come back into our parasympathetic nervous system, out of our sympathetic nervous system, and the fact that tapping into this full consciousness of who we are is a key potential tool for us to come back into this parasympathetic, relaxed state of being, to come out of our state of fight or flight. And then the reality that once we do come out of that fight or flight mode, we're much more capable, even on a neurobiological level, so much more capable of coming up with the solutions that our world needs and bringing forward all of who we are and all of our full consciousness in bloom to be the beings on this planet that we are needed to be. So that book is in draft form, and I'm happy to send it to anyone who's interested in reading it. And if you would like, you can just read it and give me feedback through email if you want, or if you would like to come to a free gathering where some of us will gather together to discuss it and give me feedback in that kind of a setting, I would love to invite you to do that, and I will send out more information on that soon. So if you are interested, email me livingtheonelight@gmail.com, and I'll send you more information. And then the very last thing I want to say is that I've been mentioning my membership. And if you are interested in more than one of these gatherings that I'm having this month, by far the most economical way for you to join them is for you to join my monthly membership. So there are many tiers of the monthly membership. The lowest, the level A of the membership is $22 a month, and that gives you access to the Soul Wisdom Gathering every month. And then there are, various levels, but another level that I think is an amazing deal if you want to come to many of these gatherings is level D, which gives you full access to all of my live gatherings in the month, every month. So normally I would be holding 3 gatherings a month. This month I'm holding 4. So in the month of October, it's actually an especially amazing deal. So that level D is $105 a month, which is a savings of like more than 50%. So the membership for me is, I offer that because I really truly want to make it possible for as many people to be supported in these ways. And also on my end, it gives me a really like a comforting sense of stability, because when I know that, X number of people are part of the membership, then I have a certain level of sense of being able to relax and have a predictable sense of my income. So it's really it's designed to be a win-win situation. And I'm loving interacting with those of you who have joined the membership already. Thank you so much for doing that. And then the higher levels of the membership also include one-on-one sessions with me. So I have the ability to do, I can do unlimited for the levels A through D, where it's the not the one-on-one time with me. And then I have a limited ability to do the higher levels. And so I have space for a few more of those if that calls to you. And I think that's it for right now. Thank you. If you listen to this whole thing, that was a lot more than I was expecting to say. So yes, the overall theme right now is coming back into ourselves as beings of the light, but in a truly grounded, fully integrated way. We are beings of the light as beings of the earth, as beings of source, as beings of ourselves and as our hearts. So that is what the spirit world wants to say right now. Wonderful. I would love to hear from you. I would always, 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 always love to hear your own reflections, your own wisdom. This wisdom is meant to come through each of us in our own ways. And that's a huge component of my value set and my orientation, is that I'm not trying to be the expert. I'm simply here to hold space for you and me and each of us to midwife ourselves back into a remembering of all of who we are, because that's what our world needs. Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. And reach out anytime, livingtheonelight.com, livingtheonelight@gmail.com if you want to email me. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.